Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Our Midnight Song, a 25-part series that aims to showcase some of the extraordinary brilliance and diversity of women poets, musicians, artists, composers, especially those from South Asia. Today, I'm delighted to welcome our first dancer to the series. Dr. Yashoda Thakore is a Kuchipudi dancer, a Devdasi Nrityam artist. Her heritage is in the Kalavantulu community, the hereditary singers, dancers in the Telugu speaking world. Yashodaka has been a faculty at the University of Silicon Andhra. She works with the Kalavantulu community extensively. Her PhD has been on yoga and dance, and she's truly had some extraordinary body of work. I've also had the privilege to learn from Yashodaka many moons ago for a couple of years. Today, Yashodaka will explore questions of agency and identity through the Padam. She will dance the Padam later. There'll be an extract of a 2015 performance at the Khajuraho festival. And before that, we engage in a 15-minute conversation about what the Padam means, what her dance practice means. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Ruti, for calling me over. It's such a pleasure to be here, particularly after seeing the work that you have done and the other women you have been speaking about and projecting. It is such a privilege to be amongst them. Thank you for that, Shruti.
Our honor.
So, for those who are unfamiliar with the word Kalavantulu, it is the term used in the Telugu area for the hereditary women singer dancers, popularly known as the Devadasi. I am not using the term Devadasi right now because the term is a little, it's a little all-inclusive. You have everybody who come under the term. So we will avoid the word Devadasi and I will talk about the Kalavantulu, who essentially used to do a lot of these padams. Now, when you're talking about women and marginalized women, yes, the Kalavantulu come under that straight away. And the power of the women, if you're talking about the strength of these women, they were the ones who were educated at a time when nobody else was. When I say nobody else, I mean no other woman was, not even the Brahmin women. So it was during the Nayak period where that these women, the Devadasi women, they held political situations, they had a place in the court, and they were court poetesses. You had Rangajamma, Muddupalani, Ramabhadraamba, Muddupalani a little later, but in the 17th century, you had Ramabhadraamba and Rangajamma who were writing poetry, like the back of their hand. And Muddupalani, who wrote the very controversial Radhika Santvanam during Pratapa Simha's period in the 18th century. Now, I'll take a leap forward and come to this character called Kshetrayya, whose songs are performed extensively by all Devadasis, right? When I say all Devadasis, I mean Devadasis of Andhra Pradesh today and Tamil Nadu. I have to talk about them as two different states because that's how we are divided now. But it was one whole, right? It was the Madras presidency. So we were all together at that time. Now, these padams are extremely explicit in their expression, in their desire, in the sexual desire, or in voicing what they wanted. And these were performed by women. Now, there was no abashedness in what they did, when they performed. There was this mythical character as Harshita Kamath says in her article, she's written a fantastic article. She says, Kshetrayya, the making of a Telugu poet, in which she argues that Kshetrayya did not exist. She says, yeah, he is a personality created in the colonial and the post-colonial period to voice the voice of the women, right? To take over. See, it's like this, Shruti. The expression of desire was so explicit that it was difficult for the man to take it that it has come from a woman, that a woman is so bold and is right out there, it's difficult for them to take it. So it the argument is that it's been shifted to a personality and also sanitized, saying these are all connected to
Yeah.
God. These are all there is the name, there is the word Muvagopala, and that there is the argument also goes further. Harshita also says that because of the number of kshetras, the number of pilgrimages and the deities that are spoken about in the songs, it is possible that these are written by so many more authors and not just Kshetraya.
Mm.
Right, that is one. Then she says it is very possible that um, the Vaishyas, the courtesans, have written these. It is their notes that have been performed, performed by them, sung by them. But eventually, the body that has taken them has changed. So the root was
Mm.
from the Kalavantulu or from the Devadasi women to this man called Kshetrayya, divinized, sanitized man called Kshetrayya, and placed in the Bhakti movement. Yeah. And from there to the men of Kuchipudi families or to the
Mm.
Natuvanar families of down south, because there had to be a validity, right? A man can't take from a woman directly. So it had to go through this Kshetraya to the men. And then the men claim that they taught the Devadasis the these padams and javalis, which beats me. I don't understand why a man would want to teach a woman how she should feel when in intimate situations. It's totally controversial to me. But then that's the narrative. And that's why I love this article when it came out, and I said, yeah, this everything falls in place here. If you look at this, when we are talking about how explicit these padams can be, if you look at this padam that you are just about to present, actually, this is very sweet. Let me tell you how I learned this padam. Initially, I learned it from a video of a lady called Kola Subramaniam. She's from the
Oh.
Kalavantulu family. She had video recorded this singing by herself. And fortunately, I have the video of it and I learned it from the video because I just loved this lady at 70 who was doing this very erotic padam. There was no eroticism,
Mm.
by the way, in this padam. It's all very, she's a very proud sex worker.
Mm-hmm.
So she says, I am too good for you. We'll get into the meaning of it a little later. Later, when I started learning from Anna Batula Lakshmi Mangatayaru, my guru, Amma as I call her, when she said, when I said, Amma, I have learned one padam from a video. I want to do it for you and show you. And the minute she saw me, she said, where did you pick up this padam from? Because my grandmother, that is her grandmother, Anna Batula Bulli Venkatratnamma, who was the contemporary of Balamma,
Mm-hmm.
and a very, very excellent performer, knowledgeable, full of profundity. This lady was known for this padam, I understand. So Amma said, do this. And then she made changes to it and she told me how it can be done. And she said, I am giving it to you through my lineage. From my grandmother, I'm giving it to you. So this is my lineage through training, not through blood,
Wow.
right? So the teacher's lineage. Um, this padam particularly, I love it because here is this samanya nayika. When I say samanya nayika, she is this sex worker who says to the man who comes to the door, you have come here unknowingly. Illu erugaka. You came here because you don't know which house you had to go to. Illu erugaka mari. You just lost your way and you came here, or you're mad. You think for you, you think I am good for you, me. In other words, she's saying, I'm too good for you. The women that are of your cadre are in the other street. Go there. The other day, I saw you coochie cooing with one woman. That standard of women are in the other street. That kind of proud, that kind of confidence and the standard she maintains in her profession also.
Wow.
It's it's a very realistic, it's a very flesh and blood kind of a thing, right? It's not. So this, how would you want to sanitize and divinize this sort of a narrative? And she goes on, of course, she goes on to say, because he just doesn't go, she just teases him and says, oh, you've dressed yourself up nicely, and you smell good, you've come here, but you go back, don't even step into the house. And when he does step into the house, she says, no, wait, if you have to talk to me, give me so much money. If you have to say a second word, give me that much more money. And then he begins to cry, he begins to wail, and she says, what is this drama you're doing here? Just go. Then she says, Napati Parthasarathi Vachu Velai. So the deity that is mentioned in this song is Parthasarathi of Triplicane in Chennai.
Mm.
It could be him, or it could be Mr. Partha Sardhi, Mr. Partha, it could be anybody. So she says, enough. The man I really love is coming. It's time for him to come. So today I'm off. It's my off day. Now you go. So Shruti, for me, this padam, as I kept doing it, I keep doing it. Generally, I'm asked for this padam. And as I kept doing it, there were so many layers that opened up to me about the woman and morality, humanism. I begin to think, who can be more honest than the Samanya Nayika?
Mm.
She who says, listen, today I'm off. I can't entertain you today. Today is the day for the man I love. You go.
Wow.
So I I don't want to make it philosophical, but for me as a person, at the core, it means so much. This feeling of it, this thought process and the views about it.
And I'm also I'm getting goosebumps as you say this because when we this entire piece is about celebrating the agency of women in the age of the internet, and I'm just astonished at how relevant this padam is to that debate. I mean, I have I very much feel that this Naika has way more agency than most women of our time. Don't you feel that?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, you are absolutely right, Shruti, because that's why when people talk about these women as weak women who need to be salvaged, from, I'm talking particularly about the singer dancers, okay? Because when I say Devadasi, today under Devadasi, you have the Joginis and the Matangis and everybody coming under the term Devadasi. So I am not talking about them, not because I'm separating them or making myself different from them. We are all women. And we are all temple women of whatever standard it may be. We are all connected to the temple in some way. It's just that the Kalavantulu or the Ishavelalar or the Maharis danced, they sang and danced in the temple. And the Joginis and Jogatis, the Matangis, were not part of the ritual in the temple.
Right.
They were also connected to the temple, but they were not part of the ritual. So what? It doesn't make them less. I'm just trying to bring about the difference between the two of them. And again, I reiterate that I'm talking about these Kalavantulu women also because their position in society is a little different from the Joginis, Shruti, because
Right.
the oppression is a lot more with the Matangis and the Joginis. It cannot be denied. And they need, all of us as women need to stand up to them. We have to bring them up. With these women in Kalavantulu or the Isha Velalar, because they danced, I don't know, I just feel the whole profession, the thing of singing and dancing, you're a singer, it gives you so much strength, right? It gives you so much confidence and strength as an artist. So there is a kind of an inherent strength in them. When you talk to them, and in light moments when they begin to joke, you will see that, oh my God, these women are so strong. So even with my family, I see that in my family also, when we are having a happy lunch and we're just sitting and talking, you will see my attas and pinnies and all of them talk so easily about things. It takes strength to be like that. Very easily they talk about things that today are being spoken about in such sad situations and so seriously discussed. They are, okay, this is the given situation, what do we do to get over that?
Thank you.